afternoon, and welcome to our January edition of the Virtual User Group for System X. Today we welcome Don Frame, who's our Server Product Manager. I will remind you that all calls are muted as we are recording this for later playback. A link will be provided via email once the session has ended with the link to the contents as well as the playback. If you have any questions, please utilize the side chat window in order to ask those questions, and then at the end of the call, we'll have a short Q&A to go through them. And at this time, I'll welcome to the floor Don Frame.
Hey, thanks, Ben. Hey, folks, thanks for letting me come in to join your call today. Ben and the team asked me to talk to you folks a little bit about Thinkserver and some of the technology we're adding into the new Lenovo server portfolio. So I think a lot of you are familiar with System X, but maybe not so familiar with Thinkserver. But before we get into that, I wanted to give you a little bit of overview of Lenovo as a business as well, especially the way that we, kind of run our business, how we really integrate with the partner network out there as a, strategic part of the way that we, operate our business. So before we get into some of the server technical specifics about our Thinkserver product, I just want to give you a little bit of overview of us as a business as a total and in our approach to the market. For those of you that don't know, Lenovo is a global technology company. About $43 billion in total sales now with 60,000 people worldwide. So, a serious player in the world. We are a huge company in terms of scale. We sell about 4 devices every second. The reason I bring that up is if you look at where the server market is going, the ability to be able to scale and have a supply chain and global manufacturing is going to be important to be able to compete with all of the contenders out there. And I would tell you that, we view not only HP and Dell as our competition, we believe that we are positioned going forward to be able to compete with ODMs like Quanta, Supermicro, and others as well because of our back-end infrastructure and supply chain. If you look at where we are today in the world and what we've done as far as technology, we are the #1 PC company in the world, have the leading market share, and continue to grow, bigger than HP, bigger than Dell, and we're continuing to grow that lead over HP quarter over quarter, and we're doing that profitably. We're not doing that by buying market share. Not only are we growing about 20 points to the competition, but we're doing that profitably at the same time. Worldwide, if you add in what's called PC Plus, that would be PCs and tablets, for the quarter that just ended, for the first time, we're actually #1 there. Now, I know maybe for the folks in the U.S. it doesn't feel that way because, Apple has such a big part of the tablet market in the U.S., but if you look at it worldwide, add PCs and tablets together, Lenovo is #1. With our recent acquisition of Motorola, we are #3 in smartphones, and with our acquisition of System X, we're #3 worldwide in servers now, in x86-based servers, and with your help, we're going to climb that ladder very quickly to become #1. So if you look at what we're doing in terms of investment, we are ahead of the acquisitions that we did of Motorola and System X. We were already investing significantly in our major research centers that are around the world, in R&D. We'd already made a huge investment in our own servers in the Thinkserver line before we acquired System X, and we made a significant increase in the number of technology patents that we have in our portfolio. Up in the top left, I will make sure that you note, or make sure you folks understand that our new global enterprise headquarters for our enterprise business group is actually located in North Carolina, right about a couple miles down from our current U.S. headquarters. It is 3 brand new buildings, and that is the global headquarters for our enterprise, our server and storage business. We decided to put that headquarters here. We wanted to retain and draw new talent that is available in the Research Triangle Park area of North Carolina. And again, that is not just for North America, that is our global headquarters for the enterprise technology group. We have a huge portfolio, and something that hopefully we can bring to bear as we are going to sell into the data center. As you walk down the aisle to go to meet with the IT directors to get into the data center, obviously you're walking by all of the clients and the workstations that are out front. Let's not walk by any of those opportunities. We, with this portfolio, we really have the opportunity to sell from the pocket, the phone, all the way through to the clients, all the way through the back end. And now with the acquisition of SystemX, we have a very complete enterprise portfolio to go after every solution end to end inside of any customer's environment. If you look at execution, I bring this chart up in terms of giving you some confidence that we will be taking SystemX to the next level in terms of execution. If you go back to 2006 and look where we were on the Magic Quadrant, we showed up, but Dell and HP had a significant lead. Jump forward to 2011, we started to gain, but now jump forward to 2013 and into 2014. Lenovo now leads, and it's in terms of not only product, but it's in terms of positioning and execution to be able to survive where the market's going. So it's about product, but it's about what we're doing to set ourselves up to be a global leader, and that includes supply chain, that includes what we're doing around manufacturing. We actually manufacture and own our products. It's about quality and reliability. And the way Gartner sees us is now we are the leader in the technology industry for others to try to catch up with. And what is our strategy? Our strategy is simple. We have scale since we are the leader in PCs, and we're going to leverage that scale into our server business. We leverage that scale so we can become more efficient. That helps us improve our profit picture. And, of course, especially for the channel partners, that we take a huge amount of that profit and drive it into our channel to be able to make sure we partner with our channel partners and give them plenty of room to add value and to be profitable selling our products. We'll continue to drive innovation, but we will drive innovation only where it matters. And what I mean by that is we will drive innovation where customers perceive value. When they perceive value, they'll pay for it. But what we won't do is over-design and add gratuitous innovation, needless features and functions that customers are not willing to pay for. That just adds needless costs. From Protect, we'll protect our PC base and use that again for that scale, but the business is focused. The business is focused across the globe and especially in North America to go and attack this enterprise space, not only with our ThinkServer line, but our SystemX acquisition as well. Now, core principles for the channel. They are clear. We have a clear channel strategy. We are channel-led. We would prefer to partner with channel to bring products to customers. Even oftentimes we sell direct. We will leverage the channel for fulfillment and for value add because those things are better for customers because we get closer to the customer. Our partners help us get closer to the customers to not only customize solutions, but to be forward stocking and be able to be a more responsible and react quicker to customers' needs. That is a strategy that has worked for us in the PC side, and we will be taking that to the server side as well. We're simple, predictable, and consistent in terms of our programs. We have best-of-breed programs. We have only a small set of programs that are the same every quarter that you don't need a lawyer to figure out, and we will be bringing that to SystemX as well. We're going to thin out the number of programs, make them consistent. They're going to be totally consistent with what we're doing on the ThinkServer and the Lenovo side. Moving to our top seller model so you know exactly what to buy. We will protect it and put the right programs to make sure that there's profit not only for Lenovo. We want to make sure there's a lot of profit for our partners as well. Now, if you look at what this strategy has done just for ThinkServer, and this is before our SystemX acquisition on October 1st of last year, just look at ThinkServer over the last year or so. Well, we grew our revenue 150%. We grew our units 200%, and including racks. And not many people know this, but in the channel today, we actually sell more tower servers than HP. HP is obviously large in the channel, a huge competitor in the channel. But what we were doing with Thinkservers was really going, bottoms up before the SystemX acquisition, and we'd already passed HP in tower sales and number 2 in total share in terms of rack sales. And now with the acquisition of SystemX, we're going to be number 1 in all categories, I believe, with your help very soon. And major wins, not only distributed, but Avaya. You look at wins like Union Pacific, large wins. And then we were doing really well in the distributed and retail market with Thinkserver. Obviously, with SystemX, it positions us well to go into large infrastructure and data center as well. So now when you combine the portfolios, a really comprehensive portfolio from top to bottom, leadership in every category. We have innovation in every category. We have feature function advantages in every category. Certainly, the SystemX portfolio really allows us to go after, higher end opportunities, really become entrenched in the data center. And of course, everybody knows that nobody ever got fired for buying a SystemX server because they are incredibly, incredibly reliable. Every study that you look at, IDC and others, show that SystemX products are the highest reliable server products in the industry. What does it mean for us for the future and our future strategy? Obviously, a leader in smart connected devices. There is the cloud on the other end, and that's the way that applications are delivered today. Well, what do you got to do to bridge that middle? And that is infrastructure. And with Thinkserver and SystemX together, we are now able to bridge that gap between the clients and the cloud. And we, now have a full portfolio to go all the way from again, the pocket to that cloud experience. So now I want to jump into portfolio, and we're going to go through this a little fast because I want to make sure that we have some time for questions at the end. So if you look at our portfolio, I think a lot of you probably have seen this chart or something similar. We do have a portfolio that touches all of the form factors inside of x86 server, and as all of you know, x86 server is by far the biggest part of the server market. If you look at proprietary types of servers like P-Series from IBM, Power Series, or Itanium from HP, CICS or RISC-based servers, they are a very small part of the server market and getting smaller every year. x86-based architecture is getting larger because of the performance that is on the new servers. You just take a new SystemX 3650 M5, for example, or a Thinkserver RD650. They have the E5 2600 V3 processors from Intel, up to 18 core CPUs, DDR4 memory. That's a huge amount of performance just in a standard 2-piece server. And if you think about price performance, power and other type of technologies can't even come close to what we can do. If you look at our X6 product, wow, 4- and 8-way type of high-end mission-critical servers, I can tell you I think we out-benchmark a lot of the non-x86 servers with those products. And again, price for performance is so much better. Not only Blade Center, but you're going to see some new exciting things around our Flex system that we're going to be announcing soon. Against some of the competition, we're much more open in terms of networking in our new Blade system called Flex. And you're going to see us open up and do some additional things around storage. Obviously, our products are qualified with IBM StoreWise products, but there is an announcement coming out today or tomorrow very soon, and you're going to see us partnering with additional partners to bring additional storage choice to our Flex product or our Blade product. You'll also see us doing that across our portfolio. And then dense systems. Today we have the NextScale product. You can fit 12 servers in a 6U space. They're half-wide servers, including the ability to do high-end GPU, high-performance clustering type solutions. Stay tuned in this area because we're investing in the dense area as well. I can't tell you too much, but I will tell you, you will see some new exciting things coming out from Lenovo in the dense space within this calendar year. I want to talk a little bit about branding. I'll just give you a picture of the first product that's going through the rebranding. Obviously, many of you have probably already disclosed and have read the announcements on the new X3500 M5 high-end tower. that announced at the beginning of January and will be shipping at the end of this month is actually the first product that will be coming off our manufacturing line that is rebranded to Lenovo. So if you look at this picture, there's no IBM on the chassis anymore. It's Lenovo. On the top it says System X X3500 M5. This gives you an idea of what our new product is going to look like. In February, we're going to be rebranding our 3850 and 3950 X6 products also to Lenovo, and you're going to see that progress over the next 6 months, where all the products from System X will be branded Lenovo. System X branding remains as a sub-brand, but the parent brand will move from IBM to Lenovo. So to get into high volume or a rack and tower portfolio, because this is where we get into a discussion about Thinkserver. So you can see we got two portfolios coming together here. We have products all the way from entry to high performance, and you'll see us, over this year doing a certain amount of consolidation in the portfolio. And I'll give you the first example. We're going to start consolidating some of our products in the middle of this space, starting in the channel. So you'll see that some of the products we have in the channel today, starting April 1st, we're going to have a little bit of our portfolio consolidation to make it simpler for our customers and partners to understand. But we will retain System X and Thinkserver within the portfolio. And let me explain a little bit of the way that they're differentiated in terms of the product positioning. Thinkserver is really made to go after small to medium workloads. It's made to go after, not only SMBs, but your distributed environment. So small to medium workload within its relative class. System X is really designed to go after, higher end mission critical workloads. So for those of you out there that are familiar with our ThinkPad line, we have ThinkPad Classic and we have ThinkPad Edge. ThinkPad Classic, like a T-series system will be analogous to our System X class of high volume products. ThinkPad Edge, more analogous to our Thinkserver product that goes after more of a balance of price and performance, but smaller workloads. So that's the way that these products are positioned, and you'll see more coming out from us to make sure we clarify that as we move forward. So Ben and Tim Lloyd asked me to go over a little bit more because obviously a lot of you folks on the phone are very, very familiar with System X. They wanted to give you some information on Thinkserver, some of its feature and function, and again, where it plays. So Thinkserver Gen 5 are our new products that just came out in September, announced in September. Our Gen 5 products are based on the E5 2600 V3 processors, but differentiated in terms of workload from where System X is. It's really designed, or really to sell into that distributed enterprise, Hadoop type of clusters. So, maybe our System X is really positioned for, high-end, high-performance clustering. Thinkserver may be a better product for a lower-end type of research cluster, for example. And certainly in terms of line of business applications, your standard applications that are going to run in every type of environment, your email, your collaboration, your data, your smaller-end databases, Thinkserver plays well there. And there's also some technology leadership. Where we win, for example, in our 1U chassis, we have a brand new 1U chassis called the RD550. It's a 1U chassis that combines a lot of density, and in fact, more density than any other 1U chassis in existence today. It has 12 front-load hard drives that you can get into configuration. In addition to that, 5 I/O slots, and we do that by 2 mezzanine card slots in the back and then 3 open PCI slots. So you could put I/O in all those slots and have 5 I/O slots. So for example, you could hang up to 20 Ethernet cables off the back of a single RD550 and still have 12 2.5-inch drives up front. Now, we also looked at where we will be selling these products, and again, more of a distributed type of enterprise, maybe a medium-sized business that didn't have as much of a sophisticated cooling environment as a high-end data center. So we also made them a little more rugged for those environments. So for example, our RD550 and RD650 Gen 5 Thinkservers can support continuous operation up to 45 degrees C, that's 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and is ASHRAE A4 compliant. And that, again, when they don't, a customer may not have a sophisticated data center, but they do have a server room or server infrastructure. Maybe every part of that room is not controlled to the same temperature environment. Maybe this additional additional temperature operation may help them deploy the servers in that space. So you really want to sell where the customer needs are going to call out for these type of products, or distributed and more scale-out type of infrastructure, and customers that are looking for a balance of price and performance, not just pure performance, but more of a balance in price and performance. If they want pure performance, it's really our System X products. We have benchmarks, and Ben and the team can share with you all the benchmarks we have on System X. Not only the highest reliability, but really out-benchmark every product in the industry. But if you're looking for more of a balance of price and performance, our ThinkServer products are there, and that really gives us, again, a complete portfolio to go after every possible opportunity. Just to give you a quick look at RD550 and RD650, you can see the different chassis configurations that you're used to seeing from other products, 12 drive configurations, 26 drives in a 2U, 24 up front, 2 in the back. One product I'll ask you to look at is in that bottom left section where we have that hybrid configuration. Pretty unique in the industry. I'm not sure anybody has a 2U chassis that looks like that. 6 2.5-inch drives, 9 3.5-inch drives, all in the same chassis. You can do some interesting things for your customers there in terms of tiering, storage tiering. Maybe use a server as a server and a JBOD all in one chassis. Combine that with some of the storage-defined software that's out there and converge server and storage all into a single chassis. You can do some things with that design, and that's what we were intending when we designed that product. Over on the right side, you can see our 1U higher-end chassis. You can see at the top there, 12 drives in the front in a 1U chassis. Nobody else in the industry is able to do that. And just from a spec standpoint, and I'll also show you where there's some separation between ThinkServer and System X. The ThinkServer products go up to 24 slots, 768 gigabytes of total memory. Our System X product, though, if you're looking for the maximum amount of memory, System X and our 3650 M5, for example, or even our 3500 M5 Tower, we can go up to 1.5 terabytes of memory with the 64 gig LRDIMM. So, it's a little bit of separation there. Diskless boot, the RD550 and RD650 do have diskless boot. A lot of power efficiency, not only the ability to run 45 degrees C, but the different types of power supplies to be able to optimize them based on the configuration. In terms of uptime, the things that you're used to seeing, hot swap and redundant fans, hot swap power and storage. And on the right side, I'll spend some time in the next few slides going over these any technologies, any RAID, any fabric, and any bay. And they're really designed for you to be able to configure the product from a very thin configuration to a very fat configuration. But the design point is to make them the most flexible product in terms of configuration, so you can configure it exactly the way you want it and not spend money on things that you don't want. So if you take diskless boot, even for an example, we do support dual SD card, and we even support M.2 enterprise grade embedded boot as an alternative, but they are modular, so you don't have to have them in the systems if you don't use them. That means you don't have to pay for them. So we made the systems very modular. Here's an idea of what that modularity looks like. If you look at this picture of the RD550, you can see and it's hard, maybe it's not real perceivable from this picture, but you can see we've widened the front of the chassis. It's still a standard 19-inch width rack, so it fits into any standard rack. But we thinned out and moved back where the rail kit attaches, so we're able to widen the front and get 12 more drives into the system. Now, in terms of this any technology, let me explain it a little bit more. We have any bay technology, and those bays that are circled in red can be optioned up to accept drives, hard drives, your standard SAS or SATA hard drives, your standard SSDs, and we've also qualified and enabled PCIe SSDs. So these are front load drives. They look like a standard solid state drive, but when you insert them into the bays that are circled in red, they actually attach to the PCI bus, not to the SATA bus. So you can imagine you take a solid-state drive, attach it directly to PCIe bus, you're going to get the type of performance and throughput that you really want to get from an SSD that's not bottlenecked through the standard drive bus. In terms of RAID, very similar to System X, we are standardized across LSI. They were bought by Avago, so Avago LSI RAID. Standardized on LSI RAID across of our portfolio, that's Thinkserver and System X. With the Thinkserver, we have something called AnyRAID. Similar to System X, it's a slotless RAID design, does not take up a RAID card slot in the back on the RD550 and 650. They go and actually attach right to the back plane in the front of the system. So there's no cabling from the RAID card to the back plane. They actually plug right into the back plane. And then you have choices of the kind of RAID you want, software RAID, entry RAID, or advanced hardware RAID. And if you look at our RAID 720i and iX, the iX, the only difference there, it has a integrated expander to go to more than 8 drives. But we add additional customization for the RAID 720 or 720iX. If you look over to the right side of the screen, you can choose standard DRAM, or you can customize it with read-write flash, 1, 2, or 4 gigabyte, based on your customer's needs for performance. Now, they can start, too, and upgrade later. They can start with a 1 gig cache or even a 1 gig DRAM. And if they needed to improve performance in the future, you could upgrade them with a 4 gig card, for example. And that snaps right onto the RAID card itself. So you can turn the system off, pull the 1 gig off, put a 4 gig in, and improve their performance. Now, just like System X, we do support the LSI Cache Vault and Cachegate and FastPath technologies when you choose the RAID card with the flash. And I would tell you that when you do one of the customizable read-write flash, Cachegate and FastPath are already licensed to you. There are no additional license keys, no additional things that you need to buy. If you choose one of the read-write flash options, FastPath and Cachegate are already provided for you. The back of the system introduce you to AnyFabric. AnyFabric is a marketing name for mezzanine card slots. You're familiar with mezzanine card slots. But if you look at what we're doing on the back of the RD550 and 650, we don't solder down any ports. The only port that's soldered down is the management port, dedicated management port. Other than that, you choose AnyFabric or a mezzanine card slot for your networking. So we have networking cards that go from 1 gig by 4 port all the way up to 6 gig to the gigabit fiber channel. We have CNA. The idea is you are able to customize it exactly the way you need it for yourself or for the people on the call that are partners for your customers, exactly the type of networking they want. So if they're not going to use 1 gig ports and we don't solder them down to put cost in where they don't want to pay for that, they're able to customize it exactly the way they want it. In terms of the RD450 and RD350, these are our value-based racks. And again, we are kind of moving all of our value-based rack products to these RD450 and RD350 products. These will be the value-based products across the Lenovo server line. And again, we focus on a balance of price and performance here. They use the same processors as the RD650 and RD550 or the X3650 or X3550. But what we do is cap them at 105-watt processors. That's up to a 12-core processor. In these boxes, we don't go all the way up to the 14, 16, or 18-core processors. So we're able to save a little cost there. We only also go up to 16 memory slots, 16 memory slots, 512 gigabytes of memory as the maximum on these products. And that's to save the amount of layers on the motherboard. You reduce the number of layers, and that you can also reduce the cost of that motherboard, and then obviously reduce the price to the customer. But still, 512 gigabytes is still a lot of memory. And in fact, as you folks know, on a 2-processor-based server, the average virtualization server is using somewhere around 256 gigs of memory. So even at 512, it delivers a lot of what customers need. You can see the different form factors here. I will point out on the left side, on the 2U boxes, you can see there's a picture in the middle of a 2U RD450 value-based server. We even offer that with optional internal tape, which you won't find in our competitors' boxes. So on these boxes, again, really focus on price and performance, value-based server, so up to 16 slots, 512 gigabytes of memory. We do distance boot, dual SD card. There is the option for, in our 2U box, for up to 24 drive bays, which is more than some of our competitors. A lot of different power supply options. Uptime is in redundant fans, but not hot swap. So we do redundant fans in these products, N+1, but they are not hot swaps, so we're able to save a little bit of money there to get that price down. And again, same processors, but more industry standard RAID options, industry standard components in this product. Now, only Tier 1 high quality components. Again, LSI-based RAID. We don't use any components from any vendors that you don't know about. It's all Tier 1 products. But we're really trying to strive for that balance of power and performance to be able to get down to a price point to compete. And if you look at our products here, these value-based products compared to some of the other value-based offerings from HP or Dell, you can see that, we're doing very well in terms of competitive offerings. 24 drives in our 2U, where the HP box only goes up to 16. The ability to have internal tape, which you don't find in the Dell or the HP product. 6 PCI slots, Dell only has 5. So from a competitive standpoint here, you're going to see that we have a pretty good offering to go directly after our competitors' value-based offerings. And then in terms of systems management, really System X is our product for premium management. But for Thinkserver, we do offer, a pretty good level of management as well. We offer a power planner to help you plan your environment. It's going to help you, figure out, based on your exact configuration, your total power, your BTUs per hour, and all that type of information. We do have something called Thinkserver Deployment Manager, which is analogous to IMM. We have Thinkserver Deployment Manager, which is analogous to the System X deployment tool, which is an embedded tool to help you get your server up and running, to update your drivers and your firmware, to help you set up your RAID and get your server deployed. And I would tell you, it's very, very simple to use. You turn on the system, at post, hit F10, you go into Thinkserver Deployment Manager, and if you've never set up a server before, you'll be able to set up, install, and deploy a server using Thinkserver Deployment Manager. Thinkserver Systems Manager is analogous to IMM. I would tell you IMM has more feature and function, but Thinkserver Systems Manager is a complete remote management console that is totally IPMI standard. In Thinkserver, we don't do any proprietary commands. And what we're trying to get to there is you can manage our system with our software or any type of third-party console. Now, we do have an upgrade called Thinkserver Systems Manager Premium, which is similar to the IMM upgrade that does give you that upgrade to KVM in remote media. Thinkserver Energy Manager is the only tool that we charge for. That is a power management tool that allows you to look at your real utilization of power in your environment at the server level, at the rack level, or the row level. It shows you exactly what you're using. You can cap power with that tool, or you can look at your real utilization because, typically a server is only utilized anywhere from 40 to 60% these days. And figure out exactly how much power you're using. And if you're using less power per server than you thought, maybe you can add 1 or 2 servers to that rack that you didn't think you could add. So it helps you plan for server density. And again, that's the only tool on this page that does have a license fee. Everything else is free. And then similar to System X upward integration modules, we have the same thing for Thinkserver called Partner Packs that allows you to integrate our BMC or our Thinkserver Systems Manager into the leading software consoles, vCenter and Microsoft. Now, from a ISV standpoint, our System X product really has an incredible amount of ISV and partnership and qualifications, and that is the product that you're going to go to if you need the most. But I've circled here for you in green some of the certifications and qualifications we've done with some partners. So there is quite a bit of overlap between SystemX and Thinkserver in the terms of the partnerships that we offer with companies like Cloudera and Red Hat. You're going to see that we have Cloudera reference architectures not only for SystemX but Thinkserver as well. So as you're out there working with your customers, or if you're a customer on this call thinking about doing some Hadoop clusters, you're going to be able to find reference architectures and solutions from us on Thinkserver and SystemX. If you're looking for the highest end type of solutions, then of course we're really focused on SystemX for those. But you can see here circled in green some of the things that we're doing on the Thinkserver side as well in terms of ISV integration. I want to just make sure everybody knows too, we do have storage that go that support both SystemX and Thinkserver. We have direct attached storage in the SA120 that's supported again on all of our server line. We will be bringing out a new class of Lenovo network attached storage boxes that I'd like to spend some time with you maybe on a future call to show you what we're doing in terms of network attached storage devices, new products that have high-end features like data duplicity, for example. And then we will continue to leverage a relationship that I think you were aware of, that we have an OEM and a resale agreement with IBM to offer through the channel and direct to our customers storage area network and archival products in terms of tape. Those are available as Lenovo part numbers, of course manufactured from IBM, and just an example of the continued relationship and partnership that we have between Lenovo and IBM. Now, for help, obviously you got Ben and his team. You're very familiar with Dave Mitchell and our technical support team, probably the most experienced technical sales team in the industry. But I wanted to give you an idea of what we're doing to align our North America sales force. So we've aligned our account ownership and our inside team to single teams. We have the enterprise sales specialists that are overlays to that team. And then, of course, we have technical sales teams like Ben and the team from Dave's team to give you and to help you not only directly, but also to help our channel partners create solutions and make sure that you're leveraging the right products. If you are a partner, one of our channel partners, and you are looking for a rep to come help you, you can use this link on this chart to find a rep in your area that you can engage in. And solution services, I think you probably know a lot about this. Dave Mitchell and his team are there to provide industry expertise to help you with architecture, installation, integration. We have lots of experience. That is a huge thing that was part of the acquisition, was not only the product but the great talent that came over with the acquisition. Dave Mitchell and his team are really the best in the industry to help not only our customers but our partners architect solutions. If you need more information about our products, a lot of you from the SystemX side are familiar with going to Partner World. We are moving all of our communications in now to our Lenovo Partner Network. We'll keep both of them going in parallel until everybody moves over. But familiarize yourself with www.lenovopartnernetwork.com. Over the next few weeks, you'll see not only information about all of our client products, our Thinkserver products, but also all of our SystemX products. So you're going to be able to find white papers, reference architectures. You can see I gave you an example here of the Flex System solution for Oracle RAC. There's a lot of information on Lenovo Partner Network that's going to give you one-stop shop to find information that you need about our products, our solutions, and get the help that you need. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Ben. But, end of the day, our goal is to become number one. Certainly, we will be leveraging our partners. We need your help to do that. But I want to leave you with a couple facts here. Our systems are designed in the United States. All of our enterprise group, when you think about the people they require from IBM and the Thinkserver team, were already positioned in the U.S. They will stay here. We are open up 3 brand new buildings to make sure that we can retain that talent, keep them in the U.S. They are designed and architected in the United States. And we manufacture in Geo. So Lenovo manufacturing sites located in Monterrey, Mexico, and a manufacturing site in North Carolina is being expanded. We do NGO manufacturing. There are Lenovo manufacturing sites with Lenovo people working there. That is a core competency. We make the products. We hope to leverage our partners to bring solutions at a localized level, and we really leave a lot of room for our partners to add value. We will never compete with our partners. We really want to partner with the partner network to deliver not only SMB, but enterprise and OEM and MSP type of workloads. So with that, Ben, I'll turn it back over to you for any possible questions that we may have.
Thanks, Don. We have a few questions come through. First off, do we need a license for IMM? Can you talk to the difference between the basic and the advanced?
So IMM has IMM Premium, and then of course for Thinkserver you have TSM, and TSM Premium. There is a license cost to go to the Premium modules, which it gives you IKVM ability and gives you remote presence. I'm a product guy, not a pricing guy, but I would tell you, especially if you're in the for any customer, any partner, go and price our Thinkserver Systems Module Premium, and you'll see that it gives you the same feature, but we priced it incredibly aggressively. When you compare it to what HP and Dell are offering to upgrade to IKVM and remote media, we are much, much less expensive.
Great. So basically the advanced IMM gives you the ability to console. That's really
correct.
The big selling point.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
What are the alternatives, or excuse me, let's jump to this other one. SSD is attached to PCI bus, you mentioned. Are they on a different backplane from the drives located next to the SSD?
So they are, there's an option kit, or of course we can integrate it at the factory, that adds an interposer card into those bays that interposes from the SATA to the PCI bus. Now, our advantage though, because the only other company that's offering this in their standard rack servers right now is Dell. When you do this on a Dell product, you convert those bays from your standard drive backplane to PCI, and once you do that, all you can use is PCI. For us, we actually have a conversion from SATA to PCI behind the backplane. So in those bays that I had marked in red, you can choose any device in those bays. So you can still fit regular drives or regular SSDs in there, or you can fit PCI devices in there. So it's an interposer card that goes behind the backplane.
Okay. And can two SD cards be set up as RAID 1 for the OS?
No. SD cards are not connected to a RAID infrastructure, so they're more of a failover. So there's two in there. You can put your hypervisor on. When your hypervisor, you're really booting, and then once you boot, you're not doing anything after that. What it does is it fails over from one to the other. So as you boot, if one card is corrupted, it'll go to the next one. If you do need embedded RAID, then we offer that M.2, which is enterprise-grade NAND, up to 120 gigabytes, by the way. So it's not only good for hypervisor, but you can install an entire operating system there. And that is a module that goes inside the server. You can put two NAND cards in there, up to 120 gigabyte each, and those are actually connected to the RAID subsystem. So you could do a RAID 1 mirror on our M.2 embedded SATA device.
Okay, great. And then can you manually select which card, SDO1, SDO2, to boot from? Or
yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, so in BIOS, you can select that in the boot order. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then just to add to our previous discussion about the advanced IMM and TSM, are they software keys or hardware keys?
Okay, that's a good question. So with Thinkserver, Thinkserver Systems Manager is, again, just a BMC on the motherboard. To go to the upgrade to Thinkserver Management Premium, which gives you IKVM and remote media, it is actually a hardware key. So it's a key that plugs onto the board. most of the direct configurations we do, since we price them so aggressively, most of our direct customers just want it, so we just integrate it in the system, but it just plugs onto the motherboard. If you are a business partner, it's simple. You just snap it onto the board. So it's very simple when you're replacing motherboards to pull it off and put it on the new one. No license keys for you to have to, software license keys for you to have to try to keep up with. It is a hardware module that snaps directly onto the motherboard.
With the System X product line, there's Redbook, and that was previously called IBM Redbooks, right? For Thinkservers, is that a continuation, similar thing, or what are the options for Thinkservers, and then what's the go forward? What do we plan to do for System X?
Yes. So today, go to the IBM site for where you would find a System X Redbook, and in the search box, just choose Thinkserver, and you will see what's called Lenovo Press Solution or System Guides. Lenovo Press Solution Guides. It's just another name for Redbook, but they are actually on the IBM.com site, the same place that you would find a System X Redbook. Now, over time, we will be moving all the System X Redbooks and the Thinkserver Redbooks over to Lenovo's site and changing the name from Redbook to System Guide, but it has all that same type of information. So, again, go to the same place that you would find a System X Redbook today. In the search box, choose Thinkserver, and you will see RD550 and RD650 solution system guides today, and we'll be posting the RD350 and RD450 systems guides to the site by the end of this month.
Okay, great. One user comments that they definitely agree that the hardware keys are definitely way better. And in the past, the feature-on-demand keys have been a little more of a management headache. So is there a direction that you can provide on System X side if we will be going the way of hardware keys?
So you're going to see us doing a lot of best practices and looking at both product lines when it comes to the next big turn from Intel, which is Pearly. And Ben, I think that's what, 2016? End of 2016? Mm-hmm. So when we go that next big turn from Intel, you're going to see us consolidate or look for best features and functions from both sides and start seeing some of the best things come from both sides. System X has, honestly, a huge amount of features that we'd love, but so we'll bring the things that customers like the most to both product lines, but you'll see us continue with both product lines because, we really want to separate them in terms of the positioning I talked about at the beginning of the call. You can never manufacture and make one product that satisfies every customer. With the Lenovo Thinkserver and System X coming together, we're going to make sure we have products go after every customer and every workload. Large customers have large workloads. Large customers have small workloads. We want to be able to optimize a product for them. But you will see us, put some of the best features in both products. But in Thinkserver, we will continue to make sure we really focus on cost, so we blend that price for performance.
For bootable media creator, is there a version of that for Thinkservers?
I don't think there is, Ben. Yeah, I don't think there is, but if you send me that offline, I'll go and double check. I know we have that in System X, but I'm not sure if we have that in Thinkserver, but I can confirm offline with you, and we can get it back to your person asking the question.
Okay. Some more futures questions. I appreciate the questions coming in on futures. We'll save those a little more for offline as the audience is a little diverse in this particular meeting. So just getting through a couple more here. Remote management for Thinkservers. How does that compare to System X for current System X customers?
It's similar. They're IPMI compliant. I would tell you that System X is going to have a little more robust feature function in terms of remote management. Of course, there's a console today. There's systems director that's supported there, and as you probably know, working on some new consoles there. Thinkserver is going to give you your standard features from a remote management standpoint. System X would have some additional premium features. But the standard things that you do in an everyday perspective, remote control, alerting, remote diagnostics, those are available not only in System X but in Thinkserver as well. And again, if you go to I'm glad you brought up the question about the Red Books. If you go to that site and look at that RD550, RD650 product guide, you'll see a lot of detail around remote management and some specifics on the specifications.
Okay, and then one last question, if you have the time, if you go back to the slide that you have on Thinkserver RAID controllers, the any RAID, one attendee is looking for more information, a little more detail on those RAID options.
Yeah, again, go to the product guides and you'll find a lot of detail about those RAID options. Again, all LSI-based RAID. But if you send me over the direct questions from that from your person asking, I will get information directly back.
Okay, great.
Okay, I got to jump to another meeting, but Ben, I appreciate the time, and I'd love the opportunity to come back on a future a webinar when you have the chance.
Yeah, definitely will. Thanks again, Don, and everybody for attending. This concludes the call. I'll go ahead and work on getting the Wiki website updated and the email sent out with that link. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.